Welcome back to Chicago by Night as night falls over the Windy City in 1991. First edition Vampire. That's not the rule set we're playing, but it's the source books we're playing. We're back to the old school of things. This is where it began. This is where the
Fifth
hype
edition
started.
with first edition. Oh, sorry.
What was that?
It's fifth edition with first edition vibes.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And
Unfortunately, 5th edition magic.
yes, that is also true. Yeah, it's 5th edition has nerfed the poor Tremere so hard, hasn't it? So
It's nerfed all of the magic.
all of the magic has been nerfed.
It's
But
really made all of the characters just significantly weaker.
ish, depending on what you mean. I think that they're stronger compared to humans, but weaker compared to each other.
Previous editions, like werewolves, like you can do all sorts of like even more wacky shit, or like any of the supernatural creatures. Like in older editions, like the unlimited rage loop.
Yeah, but you didn't have the
Yes,
I
yes.
take only like half superficial damage as vampire in earlier editions. You just healed more bashing damage for every blood point spent.
Still,
Yes,
that's
but
like
you also had powers that were like, oh, I cause earthquake.
Yes,
or
yes.
oh,
that
now.
was,
30
that was a
turns
thing.
and you get one.
That was a thing. Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
that was.
wait. I have blood points, so I get an extra turn, actually. Another one. You've been rolling for 9 hours!
I do think in 5th edition, you do get some extra powers that there weren't before to do with how you can interact with the environment. Like, I don't think the earlier version had stuff like the ability to run up walls or
No.
the falling leaf thing where you don't take damage no matter how far you fall.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. There are some switches like that because they needed to
It was a
fill
lot
in.
easier to fly.
Yeah, there was a. If you were Tremere, you could fly if you had movement of the mind enough.
It still doesn't change the fact that in comparison, like older editions, if you like knew what you were doing, you could cook up some bullshit.
It's
Yes, you
to
could.
quote Fire, I do not fly, I soar. I glide.
I played Bloodlines 2, and Fire feels like an older edition vampire in 5th edition, if that makes sense.
They're so sarcastic, it's great.
Yeah. Like they really do feel some sort of first edition vampire thrown into 5th edition.
Random thought. I'll probably go with the New York setting for a Sabbat game, honestly. Because
I wouldn't mind that. And by the way, I already have characters ideas in my head to work with.
And it would be in 2001 too, because it's 10 years later the book came out. I don't know why they took so long to publish New York by Night. There you go.
Mikkel, I'm just gonna warn you, the later in the timeline you put this character,
Maybe
the
choose
more-
a different year.
Why? Oh, the meta plot?
Remember what happened in New York in 2001?
What? Oh,
It was a
right.
pretty big event.
2002.
Oh, right.
It was on all
Right.
How about
That's a
Casually
thing.
forgets 9/11.
Casually forgets 9/11. It says copyright 2001 on the source book. I looked at. But
I mean,
they
I
published it
wouldn't mind-
after. They published it after 9/11. Like
That's so
yeah.
fucking funny. But I wouldn't mind dealing with the meta plot of 9/11.
No,
Let's
no.
get back to character
Let's-
introductions.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
let's-
shall
yes.
we?
Yes,
Also, this
yes.
show is rated R
We're in here for
because
10 minutes already, and we're already doing some bullshit. All
we're
right.
doing all the bullshit. Show is rated R for vampires and blood and murder and all sorts of
And
abuse.
rock and roll.
And rock and
Yeehaw.
roll. Yes. There we have it. So, who's with us?
Hello, I'm Dominic, any pronouns. I will be playing the eccentric rockstar vampire known as Sylvester.
I am El Duende, pronouns any all, and I'm the sexy one. Pretend I'm doing a sexy pose right now.
Yes.
I'm playing as Tony Hernandez, the Bruja gangster, who's maybe reconsidering his path he's chosen in life. Maybe.
I'm John. I'm playing Chris, the corridor body artist.
Hello, I am Enda, playing Kate Peretti, apprentice of Clan Tremere, and cult leader, and repeat diablerist.
And I'm
Not a great
Roger.
resume.
You go ahead.
I would say not a great resume.
Terrible resume.
I'm Roger.
Maybe
I'm playing Goldtooth Charlie, native former gangster who has white phosphorus and is not afraid to use it.
Last time when we played, we were on July 4th, which we still are. You went your separate ways in various ways here. Tooth Charlie managed to meet the Nosferatu Danov in the abandoned cathedral, having a discussion about Golconda and the vampiric condition and what things that vampires can do to each other. Kate visited the Chantry, delivered a report on recent events to DeSable, and went to her cult headquarters to have a bite to eat, as the vampires would say, and literally mean it. Of course, most creatures bite to eat these days. So anyway, she asserted her dominance over her second in command, and then fed on a new intimidated member. Tony visited his sister's Sarah's family party in Pilsen, and that was rather unsettling because he felt like an outsider looking in, unable to connect with his mortal family as he once did. Things have happened in his mind. In just 6 months, it's been an intense life for him. He left feeling more isolated than before and hunted a mugger to sate his hunger, because that's what we do when we're vampires. We just channel that void in our soul into tormenting other people. Sylvester, finding himself alone in the Haven, called his friend Josh to party. They went to the spider room, and there was plenty of white lines on the counter. Yes. And Sylvester fed as well. Chris had to deal with the aftermath of the crime scene after his stalker Kami called 911, believing him to be dead. And finally, he managed to shake her off and join the others. Charlie, what else did we have? After the talk, Charlie, with Danov, Charlie hunted in the slums, getting into a brawl with a domestic abuser, and also fed. There was a lot of eating last session. And Kate was using her blood magic to track the Sabbat stolen motorcycles and realized that they actually moved from the impound and stopped moving near O'Hare Airport. And now the group has piled into Charlie's van and is headed towards the suspected location to prepare an ambush. And that is where we start. We have a suspected location, and we have our friends here, our protagonists. This is some kind of loading bay to a strip mall, not too far away from O'Hare. It might be 5 or 10 minutes. Every once in a while, you're obviously going to hear the high-pitched sounds of jet engines overhead as planes are incessantly coming and going to the airport. It is one of the busiest in the country, after all, and a major hub. Question is, Kate knows, generally speaking, where the tracker is. How are we heading into this maze of back alleys and loading bay lots and so on?
When you say back alleys, does that imply like that there's perches and stuff?
But there's what?
Like roofs?
I'm not sure I follow.
Wait, you're saying roof?
You having roofs?
Yeah, roofs.
Oh, rooftops. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to climb up to the roof.
Let's make
top
a
and
plan before
start.
we start spreading out.
No!
Yeah, what the
Plans are evil!
Hold on,
Yes,
hold
go
on.
ahead.
Chris, like, fucking, as he's trying to walk away, I just grab him, like, no, we're
Okay.
burning this shit. Stop!
Okay.
We could be using Kate like a radar detector and just drive around about 3 blocks out from where we think it is, and just have Kate like point in as where she's feeling it is as we're moving around, so we can triangulate on narrowing it down.
Yeah, and as we're in the car, Kate is just going to say, okay, I know it was a lot easier last time because we were in a hotel. This place is quiet, it's very late at night, and there are not humans walking around as much. So if we make a lot of noise, people like Charlie will hear us. So let's not do that. So no shouting, no making... Basically, don't touch anything metal unless you know you need to. How's that?
You're being overly concerned.
Tony gives a thumb.
We're the one who introduced incendiary weapons to this.
Yeah, I wonder who
So
did that.
I don't want to die right now. That's not my
You're
goal.
already dead. That's why you're here.
You stupid motherfucker.
Double
I
hell.
don't want to die again.
That's fair enough. Okay,
Okay.
are you...
Good. We
I-
got that out of our system. No screaming, no shouting. We've got an idea of what building they're in, right? If we do the
I don't
loop
know. You're the
around
one
us,
tracker.
yeah, but if we do a loop around of the block, we'll have a good idea of what
No,
building they're
Dex
in.
is not here. Out of character, Dex is not here. He's losing on the ladies.
Right.
enough.
Yes, that he was. How could I forget that? That was his high point last session.
Yeah. I was like, God damn it. No cannon fodder for me.
Oh, yeah, and anybody else noticed under the coterie listing, there's now a group portrait of the Odd Job gang?
There is.
Oh,
There's been one for a while.
Yeah, but now it's a correct one.
I've never noticed it before.
We look like a band.
Yes. You
Not
do
even a
look like
particularly-
a band.
It's not a bad one, but also not one that's special.
like a Cold Chisel cover band, maybe?
I wouldn't put us in that tier.
Oh, I would. We are that bad.
I think Ender was
Not
talking
touching
about
that.
how good we were.
Okay, so we've got a good idea of what building they're in.
Yes.
Storytelling? Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we're doing like a loop of the block, we'll
Yep.
be able to pinpoint what
There they are. Yeah.
building.
Absolutely. Where there the bike is, or there the bloodstone.
Where the bike is. But to be fair, they're not going to leave the bike outside in this sort of place.
Nah, probably not.
All right. Tony will say, first thing we should do is make sure that they don't have a way to escape. We should find their vehicle and disable it.
Yeah. Do we see the white vans they're usually using are probably inside as well?
That would make sense.
I just need to know, are we going in loud or quiet?
We'll try to be quiet, but if somebody...
No, I don't mean we try to go quiet and then fail and then trip face first into loud.
Here's what I think.
Because that just means you're doing loud badly.
All right, Tony
Okay.
says... Wait, Tony
But I can't
says...
predict the future.
Sorry, all right. Here's what I think. Sylvester and you, Kate, you're fucking awful at stealth, and I think if we try to do this quietly, one of you two is gonna fuck it up. So I think it's better just to go in loud.
How big is the building that we've narrowed it down to?
This is mostly just one or possibly two-story buildings around here, because again, it's a strip mall. This is not who would use this place. It's going to be people who are traveling to and from the airport. Yes, all the logistics.
Is it a strip mall or a warehouse?
It's a strip mall, but it has warehouses because the strip mall needs storage space.
Okay, so this is like the loading zone. Of the
Ah,
strip
Yeah.
mall.
I see.
Oh,
If you're going
it's
in
pretty
loud.
You can, as you've been doing your loop around it, you've seen like the front face of it, which is all closed down now because it's 4th of July and it's also 1 a.m. So nothing is open. But you will know as you've been doing your loop around that the item in question, the bloodstone, is somewhere like behind it's on the back lot of this, where loading bays and everything.
Okay.
The question is how you
Good
sneak in
question,
there without being spotted, or just barge in with a van and just gun for the.
Yeah, did we arrive in someone's van?
Yeah, Charlie's van has been completely loaded
Okay.
up with
Hmm.
all of you.
More like that?
So American.
All right. Actually, Tony, I say real quick. Wait, is everyone here armed? Do all of you have guns?
Do I have a gun in my character sheet? That's a good question.
I do have a firearm, yes. Despite being from Dakota, I've never actually fired one, though.
Whatever. Kate. Wait, why am I asking you? I know you have one. Chris?
Yes, but
Let
I'm
me
very
check.
much in the same boat as Sylvester here.
It's better to have a gun than
I
not
fired
have
it a lot. I don't think I've hit much. That wasn't already incapacitated by one of you.
Tony,
Yeah.
how do I take the safety off?
That's a Glock. It doesn't have one, but whatever.
It doesn't have one?
I don't know if I have a gun
Why is
on
there
my
no
character
safety?
sheet. There's only a gun.
Yeah, if you
Even
click
though
on
he has
your
firearms.
equipment tab, you will find your weapons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do. I have a shotgun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Wait, is it Sylvester's pistol the police Glock I gave him?
It might be.
Yeah.
I know I've
Police.
got a police officer's weapon, but that's from the cop I murdered in like session 1.
Oh yeah. All right. And still. Anyway, enough gun trivia.
Actually, is there anybody in this group who hasn't murdered a police officer?
Me?
I think me, surprisingly enough.
Probably
Also-
Toady as well, I think.
Yeah, no. Tony has definitely had encounters with the cops, but never killed one. That's too much
Yeah,
heat for him.
Yeah, I think it's mainly just Kate.
Charlie did as well because he
Yay,
he
murderer's club.
drained 2 police officers on the night he was made.
Okay, like outside of backstory stuff, yes. Fair enough. The only question is it a strip mall the size of the image I put in the chat?
American strip
I'm just
mall,
wondering because the strip mall is a long, complicated building.
Yeah.
That's a
So
lot.
I'm just wondering
yeah.
if, like, if we're going loud and we start at the wrong end, it's going to be 20 minutes before we get to where they are.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be even meaner and say that it's like folded. It's like a.
Oh, like one of those
circle.
U-shaped ones?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you have
Oh,
the
you're
loading
right.
bay in the middle is what I have pictured here. So, since I said that when you went around it, you would have noticed that it's going to be placed more centrally. It's not on the outside of, which isn't surprising because then they would have to be literally in a store or in front of the store, which no doubt would, if you want to hide from the road network around here, placing yourself in the middle of the U-shape is a pretty good thing to do. And there's going to be loading bays in there that you can roll up, roll down, and probably park a van-sized vehicle in, a small truck, really. So, yeah, it's not a
like
bad
the
choice.
worst case scenario for us. Because they'll have a lot of visibility of that area. And also, if we go loud, there's going to be so many positions they can ambush us from. It's assuming they're not all sleeping in the same place. Or staying.
Charlie, can you listen out for him?
Sylvester should do sense the unseen as well, just to make sure there's nothing else here.
Like a
I
nos?
suppose they can, yes. Also, there's more people that can hide other than just the Nosferatu.
Yeah, Malkavians, others, Lasombre, I think. I know that.
Who has good aspects? Maybe we could try to hear where they are. I think.
Point is, I don't want to get jumped.
It's just the thing of, if you're close enough to hear them using Auspex, they're close enough to hear you with Auspex.
Okay, then we'll just stay out here forever and die in the sun. Okay? We have to do something. We can't talk forever.
Yeah. Do you have that shotgun, Mike?
Yeah.
You mind using it then?
Sure.
I'm just waiting on your call, really. I'm taking the back line.
Yeah. What's the decision? Are we going to walk into a U shape where we're surrounded on all sides? Are we going to try and get into the back of the building and guess we get the right one?
Maybe we can use the shotgun mic to narrow down where they are first.
That's what I'm
Sure.
saying. Narrow it down and then go loud there. Also, I have an idea. Once we do decide to go loud, Charlie, those are glass walls. I'm saying we just ram it.
Do I get a bonus die for equipment? Michael?
Yes. Wait a minute. Bonus die or bonus success? I'm still confused.
I'll take a bonus success.
Because I'm still confused about how V5 does it.
Make up your mind.
What was that?
Make up your mind.
Make up my
What is-
mind.
what is the bonus from?
Equipment. Using the surveillance equipment I've got.
Oh.
Oh, why don't you get +2 on your skill? +2 successes.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
Because that's how we handle it.
Shiny.
That's how we handle gear bonuses for weapons, right? Like you do automatic
So that's
damage with
8
it.
successes, possibly messy critical.
That sounds like a
should
messy
put
critical to me.
Honestly, you have a lot of willpower and you're not going to be using it a lot. It's
I can't re-roll.
No, a messy critical can't be rerolled. It's there.
Oh,
Yeah. I can't re-roll the
You
dice
can just
that
get
would
even
matter.
more crits, basically. Yeah.
So, 8 successes.
ooh.
I'm just going to be, from a distance, just pointing the boom mic at the different glass fronts to see if there's any sound coming from inside any of them.
I would like to see what kind of compulsion we're getting. Do you want to roll or should I?
Sure, I'll roll. Where's the compulsions tab?
This is going to be a weird justification, a surveillance-related compulsion.
Clan
Yep.
compulsion. I dig it.
What's the clan compulsion of this Tremere?
Perfectionist,
Yes, yes. I dig it.
which I don't think really applies when I've hopefully succeeded at this task. It makes sense if I'd failed a task messily.
I think maybe just because this is our opening thing, you're now obsessed with doing this entire raid perfectly.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
actually
that's-
make sense to me.
Yeah.
Kate is, I know exactly what's going on in there, so I need to coordinate the rest of the coterie perfectly. And if that doesn't work, until the vampire scores or the scene ends. So, unlike many other compulsions, this one will actually disappear once this scene is over.
So once combat starts, it's gonna go away.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm going to... Can I narrow down which store they're hiding in?
You can absolutely narrow down everything here. I just need to add your thing here. Where do you go? Compulsions. Okay, I'll just put a compulsion on you so we know. There.
To be fair, that last time I got this compulsion, I hypnotized the cop like 6 times in a row
Yes, you did.
to get the conversation right.
This is gonna end badly.
You are gonna use your shotgun microphone. It's the shotgun microphone, but together with your no sense of the unseen. Okay, 'cause shotgun microphones generally don't have that much range, but we have succeeded very well with a surveillance check here. So
It was more the surveillance equipment I have rather than any specific bit of equipment.
okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not sure you can listen into conversations with all this. You're not going to hear like words, but you are going to locate, separate, let's say 2 voices, even if you can't make out whatever they're saying. And clinking of mechanics, like metal against metal. The sound of spanners pulling on bolts. And such.
General car yard sounds.
General car yard sounds, exactly. Except, of course, there's no car yard here. But it still makes sense, because this gang is supposed to be a biker gang, right?
So one of these
Right.
places a storefront for a mechanic? It is like a fake front.
Not really. There's probably a smaller hardware store around here, which can probably...
Oh, because they've just commandeered stuff from hardware store and are working on it in like a back
Exactly.
area. Makes sense. I pass this on to everyone.
All right.
Okay, so we
Idea.
want to go.
I have an
Okay,
idea.
You go.
All right. I'm saying we find the garage door, the closest point of entry, and if possible, we ram it.
That's so fun. Yes.
Ram it.
That's also our escape
Okay.
vehicle. You're aware of that, right?
I know.
Would that set off an alarm? That would put us under a time crunch.
Yeah,
as
no
well,
shit. The
wouldn't it?
plan is go loud.
I think he means alarm as in human alarm. As in
Yeah,
cops
maybe.
coming.
Like-
Probably.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't really matter. There's gonna be gunshots and shit.
Yeah, but like, whatever. I don't. I guess it's Charlie's van, and if he's okay with the risk of it being destroyed, who am I to complain?
Could crash the van through, or the alternative is, since we now know where they are, crashing the van through would also leave a big hole they could ride their motorbikes out of. We could block them in, so they can't go on the bikes.
And then go in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also assuming that the van gets through the door.
And that is an also potential for embarrassing failure.
Good
Alright.
thing American walls are made out of paper.
Yes, but
say that
roller
like you're
shutters
not
are still made out of
American.
metal.
Ah, shutters are shutters, no problem.
Where are you from, Sylvester?
Dakota, I've told you this. Well, my family's not from Dakota, but whatever.
He's from that part of Dakota that was colonized
Oh yeah,
by Swedish.
Dakota, Sweden, or some shit.
No. You,
Okay.
as...
I don't particularly like the the van ramming idea, but I also am of the opinion of we do need to move this forward. Right now, they're making a lot of sounds in there. They're making repairs that could cover some of our approach.
Let's get to it then.
So, who
To the garage.
who wants to drive it in?
Charlie's
And
driving.
How will we? What?
Hey, Charlie's driving. Look at the drive.
Okay.
Also, we didn't
and-
agree on that plan.
Yeah.
So it is Charlie's choice whether the van gets rammed because it is his van.
How many points of entry are there? There's like the roller shutter at the back, presumably the glass at the front. Is there like person-sized door at the back as well, or is it just a
There
big
is
garage
probably
door?
a person-sized door.
That's usually the case. Like these stores, they have for the staff
Okay.
to get in, and sometimes,
And
not
the,
always, but sometimes.
We're assuming that the roller shutters, like it's one workspace, one roller shutter. They're not all connected behind,
No, exactly.
because that would be a nightmare hazard for security.
Yes.
Okay.
So, should we send people around the back and try to coordinate an assault from both directions?
That seems like a bad idea.
What I'm
Okay.
thinking is we get the van up to a decent amount of speed from some distance away, then turn the engine off and just silently coast it in to block the roller shutter door. Then we all get out and go in through the person-sized door. And then we just start the attack from there.
I like that plan. How about
I'm
we
willing
do
to
that?
watch that from a distance outside the van.
Yeah, whatever. Well, we already knew you weren't going to be useful during this part of the plan.
No. Kate's
Now let's
going to
get
be
to it.
useful because she can back us up with her magic and stuff while out of
Definitely.
combat.
Also,
That's
I got us here.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
Make it
I said
sound
just
like-
Kate's been useful, just not for this part of the plan. This
yeah, but
upcoming-
there's no need for the backhanded compliments. If you want to insult Kate, just do it. But don't be
Make it
backhanded.
sound
No.
like she's a wizard that can shoot fireballs. I don't think that's quite the
I'll
case.
fucking police my language. I'll say whatever the fuck I want about this ghoul looking motherfucker.
We'll remember this.
most likely cloakry member to join the Sabbat. Vote now. Anyway,
We agreed on this plan, coast the van in, block the roller shutter and go in through the regular door.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. I will be in the back going pew pew pew. Yes.
And I'm going to
Very
walk slowly up to the back while they're all doing this. Not like before them, just like as they're doing it, because I don't want to be in the van for whatever happens.
who's driving the van?
Charlie's driving.
Charlie's driving the van, and Kate is going to jump out of the van before things kick off.
Not
as it
while
were.
it's moving, but yes.
Yeah. And
Just to be clear.
is
Now
anyone?
I'm headcanon that as like the van's going at kind of a slow speed, you just jump out, do a roll, and fuck up your back. That's my headcanon now.
Okay. Chris, Sylvester, Tony.
So, do you want me approaching the back door or am I in the van?
Look, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit.
Tony's going through the back door.
Oh yeah, I'm taking lead on the person-sized door, like with the crossbow.
Chris.
I'll stay with Charlie just in
Well,
case something goes wrong while he's packing.
Sylvester, are you with Tony or with the car, with the van?
I thought we were all going in through the like prison door. Like,
Yeah, but-
basically.
We are, but you're going there ahead of us before the van is ready.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm staying in the van and waiting
Okay.
until you
Okay.
park.
So it's gonna just the van is gonna coast up to and then etc. etc. Charlie.
To coast up with the doors already open so we can get out quietly.
Charlie, as you are doing this, why don't you roll drive and I think composure check to drive this van casually so it doesn't arouse any suspicions?
Yeah. I think Sylvester might have gotten out by this point and followed Kate.
Alright.
Kate,
As much as he wants to be in the car for when Charlie rams it, someone has
Not
already
ramming,
taken
not
the
ramming.
shotgun seat.
We're not
not ready.
ramming it. We're just parking the van crosswise in front of the roller shutter so nobody can escape on bikes.
So sad.
Good choice.
Jeez, what
Listen.
have I done to deserve this coterie?
Listen, he's still high on cocaine. He wants to ram a car into a building.
Okay, this is game where you.
I don't see why. He is
Did we have a
driving
DC?
casually, as it were. Unfortunately, there just might be someone watching what's going on. They might just have learned.
Man,
a
I
little
love
bit
how
from-
good and stable my internet is.
So I'm gonna invite Charlie to grab a compulsion.
Wait, Roger, are you not going to push that?
Oh yeah, he already did.
I already did. That's
Yeah.
how bad it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
God,
wait,
my internet.
or we could just say that you're gonna do a fumble and manage to instead of coasting, your
Ram
foot
it.
slips and you ram the car in the most conspicuous way possible to really set everything off.
All right, then.
Because that
Alright.
works too.
Yeah, as Charlie smashes the car into the garage, I say, Charlie, you fucking idiot!
Charlie will just say
I-
Plan B and draw his shotguns.
They told
You're
me
assuming
they
you're
weren't
coming
gonna
out of that
ram-
unscathed.
They told me they weren't gonna ram the place. They lied to me, Kate.
And I turns to Sylvester. Now this is why I wasn't in the fucking car.
Oh, this is why I should have been in the car. Oh, well.
So, composure awareness is a 4 for Charlie. I need to code it so that it just automatically does. I know it's possible, and for some reason I just haven't gotten around to it because there's been other things on my mind. Chris,
Alright, so it's
Has-
composure awareness?
4. 4 is like the average for anyone who has a little bit of awareness skill, which a lot of people do have. Tony has a 5, not a
I have a
1,
question.
and...
Oh, sorry, I rolled. Are you using the
Yeah.
initiative
yeah.
thing?
So 4 for Sylvester, and Kate has
5 quadrillion.
4 as well. So like,
See,
Everybody
that's
has a
why it's
4
easier to
except for
roll
Tony.
because
yeah, I know.
4 is a very predictable average.
It is a very predictable average. Everybody has a
Unless
4.
you're specced into it, 4 is what most people are. I think the
Depends
people
on
who've
how
got
much.
celerity should go first, but that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
That used to be the case in earlier editions, etc., etc. Alright,
Everyone-
so apparently everybody has a 4 except for 2 people. Okay, how do we break the ties like that? Okay, I'm just gonna check what the rule book is because I don't remember.
You're the one
You
who made them
can-
all tie.
You can
No,
do
it's the
Maybe
advanced.
whichever the highest dexterity or something like that.
Let's see now.
Yeah.
Everybody has.
Yeah, or like highest dexterity plus celerity. I feel like that would make sense.
Player characters act before storyteller characters in case of ties.
So if they were in the van, dexterity could leave them more stable and less shook up by how this has already gone horribly wrong.
So basically, it's gonna be.
The problem is, like, people's averages are always going to be between, like, 2
Yes.
and 5. So there's so much opportunity for overlap.
Yep. I didn't
Alright, so-
design the system.
I already said earlier that Tony had his crossbow ready in the van. which
Yes,
means
you
I don't have
did.
to-
I
Alright,
hope
so
your
I'm-
weapon survived the crash.
It definitely did. It's fine. So
I'm gonna roll a
I'm gonna-
d10 because someone just gave me the idea of rolling a d10 mysteriously. Why isn't it working?
Man, I love how stable my internet is. It's so good. It's just
You're lucky. Your crossbow is in fact has not been discharged or had a mishap because of this.
all right. It's just gotten a little bit scratched up.
Guns are a pretty stable thing, even in a car crash, but a crossbow
Yeah.
has a lot of points where it can be damaged.
Yeah.
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 Those two
So-
arms.
I use my quick action to get out of the van. Do I see anyone?
Can
Absolutely.
you get out of the van?
You're gonna get out of the van.
Just for our own knowledge, is the van wedged in the door?
No. The idea
Okay.
was to block them from coming out, and you have managed to somehow into the side of the door, like the wall between two of these roll-top gates, and there is a fair good space for bikes to escape. But of course, that means
But
starting
I'm
the
gonna
bike
say-
and getting on it and going away, which is a lot
Yeah.
of work in a fight.
Yeah, that's like a few turns. So, by the way, I'm going to say that this quick action was the free one from Celerity,
Very well.
Rapid Reflex. And I'm going to say that now that I see these two, I'm going to shoot the ugly one first. Because when it comes to vampires, you always shoot the ugly one first. It means they're more combat-oriented, probably.
Who is the ugly one?
This one.
Oh, that one. The one with the goggles, who has both of them gripped shotguns because they heard you coming, and is in the action of putting it up to the shoulder to fire. But before that happens, kablam! Okay, not kablam, kathoop, because it's
And I will be doing a willpower reroll on that one. 8 successes. Have fun. Fuck you.
It's a shame you didn't call the shot.
Oh, you didn't call
How do you
shots?
call the shot when you've got the shotgun? It's just
No,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Well, it's a crossbow.
tricky, but
It's a crossbow.
Yeah, I
you shot
thought they called the shot like aim for the chest. Yeah.
Because called shots are used when attempting to decapitate or trying to put a stake into the heart of a vampire.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
What you didn't, okay. To do after the attack tests, they subtract successes. Hitting a specific location is not just harder, but it also makes achieving a safe center. Usually it's a -2 successes, though the storyteller can modify. Hitting the tires while piercing is -4. 221, I guess, for the staking of a vampire. Stakes. Yeah, it's a -2. So you need to do 5 or more damage. So you have 6 successes and need to do 5 damage to stake the ugly
How much,
one with the goggles.
And how much damage does a crossbow bolt do?
A crossbow bolt does. I think I put it down on your sheet. Didn't I?
You did?
Let's see now.
No,
Damage value is a 3. No, that was the shotgun. 2.
Okay then. So this person needs to get
A lot.
4 successes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Let's go with the blood surge.
Oh, and also I just remember I have a quick action since I used the free action and the main action, which means I have
No,
one
that's
more
the
action.
same thing.
and I-
Quick action and free action is the same thing.
Wait, let me check real quick. Let me check the powers. Rapid reflexes. With this power, they can also take a minor action worth up to 2 dice per turn. That doesn't say.
does that
So-
factor in the
That's not going to
penalty
work, is it?
for?
No, it's not going to be enough to actually stake them. You have 1 success, because whoever this is going to dodge out of the way behind a bike, actually. Motorbike, very surprisingly. You might recognize them. So, dodging behind the motorbike and taking a scratch across the arm for 3 points of damage, rounded down for superficial.
Yeah. And by
Nothing.
the way, another thing is, hold on, Mikkel.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, have you factored in the penalty for dodging?
I have not.
Weapons.
That's
Yeah, so it's a
fair.
-2, just so you
-2, okay.
remember. Unless
Dang
the
it.
character has rapid reflexes, at least.
unless the character has rapid reflexes. That is fair. Okay. I forgot
Yeah, by the
that
way,
entirely.
It doesn't say that I can't take the extra minor action to get back into cover. That I can't do that.
Okay.
Okay, then. So I can do
But wait,
the
I'll have to
second
look
minor
at that again. So, it was... Okay. Dodging firearms. Though this is not technically a firearm. But I get the point.
It's
There.
comparable to a firearm.
Yeah, I guess it is. Now the roll is correct. And now it's only 2 successes.
Stay.
We can always use a willpower and hope for one more
Nope.
success,
All right,
but it
then.
wasn't. Okay, so that's 6 successes, 4 successes. So that's 4 plus 2, that's 6 damage, which is 3 damage. So... Oh, before halving. So, yeah, that's going to hit right square in the chest of this person who is going to go down sack of potatoes. Very ignominious.
And the final thing I do is I use my secondary minor action, this time the one that isn't free, to head back into the van for cover.
You have 1 quick action and 1 main action. That's it.
No, it says, the celerity says rapid reflexes. It says they can also take a minor action worth up to 2 dice.
Oh,
quick
fair enough.
actions and
Yeah,
minor
that's right.
actions.
Okay, that's
So I
right.
get 2 minor actions.
Yep. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
dodge
back into
again.
cover.
You're fast and furious, aren't you? Then, that means that Kate is actually up. Though Kate is nowhere close to these guys.
Yep, she's just going to spend her turn running up to the area, hopefully into a point of cover.
That will probably succeed. You're running, basically. That's what we're doing.
She's running into cover.
Yep. Chris, what are you doing? You're in the van. Like so many others.
I'm going to. Can I use my rapid reflexes to get into close combat with the one that hasn't been shot?
Yes,
You'd
you
need-
can.
You need blink.
No.
Let's see now.
I just.
Take minor action.
How many minor
with-
actions would it take to close the distance?
Yeah, exactly. In this case, I'm going to say it's okay. You do not get the -2 dice to attack. Because you already drove a while, so... It's not very... The space inside is not very large.
So you're gonna do like a judo chop or something?
She's just lying there with a stake through the chest, and...
No, isn't he?
No,
attacking
the one who
that-
hasn't been staked.
Oh, the one who hasn't been staked. Okay. So what are you going to do now?
Go to tackle them.
All right,
Or,
this is
like,
going to be a
yeah,
grapple
restrain
attack.
them.
Roll
Yeah.
and see how well you can grapple them. You're fast and furious.
No, I'm not furious. That was against Neely. No, I'm perfectly calm. Would this be athletics or brawl? Brawl. Okay.
Definitely brawl.
Yeah. If you're planning on biting, you have to -1.
I didn't say bite. I said just grapple them.
Yeah, no, it's just that if you were planning on it. Nice.
How many successes?
A crit. That's pretty good.
Oh my. Okay.
Let's willpower reroll as well, just because it's Christmas.
Because it's Christmas.
12 successes.
Hey, Merry post-Christmas, by the way.
Hey, they're going down.
12 successes? I think Chris
I think
has
it-
proven his usefulness in this group, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. The judo chops go crazy here.
yeah. Dang.
She's
I'm gonna-
cooked.
Very possibly, yes. Okay,
If I roll
so-
12 successes and don't do any damage, I don't know, I'll have to reroll a character who's social or something, because Chris is semi-decent in a fight. He's actually better at shooting people, but this is a vampire.
All right.
Oh no.
We'll have to bring out the big guns, I see.
What the hell?
Six.
Jesus
And
Christ.
yes, willpower.
Come on.
Fail it. They failed.
7.
Fuck yeah.
That is not going to be a success. You're just really fast and punching this woman, or what are you doing? Describe what you're doing as she
Well,
is
what I was
dodging to
thinking
not
of-
get punched.
Like, I grabbed her and rugby tackled her to the ground. Or I guess you'd say in Canada, Canadian football tackled her to the ground.
Apparently you do. It's going to be 5 points of superficial damage, which obviously isn't 5 points of damage on a vampire. But
Technically, grapples don't do damage.
okay,
Yeah, it's just
That's
like
fair.
she has to
That's a
beat
tackle.
my successes to get out.
yeah, she's not beating your successes. She's just on the ground prone, obviously, as you're landing on her in a big heap. I want, because it was in fact a messy critical, I want you to roll a resist frenzy check as if this is physical provocation, because it is. Just you are doing the provoking. So that's going to be
Hope I don't lose
too
to
difficulty
frenzy.
for you.
Did I frenzy?
You
click
just
the
rolled
wrong one.
rousing the blood for some reason.
Oh, I pressed the wrong one. Ah!
Yeah, you
I'm
did.
so dumb.
It's fine. I'm also dumb.
There are plenty. Yeah, join the club. Resisting frenzy, difficulty 2. The beast inside you just wants to destroy the enemy. You're in war now, Chris. Just destroy. But you manage to hold on to yourself. The true Chris manages to hold down those beastly urges. Not sure that the person you're attacking. No, because of course not. This is a frenzy now. This is a vampire who is. I would love for this to be like a rage thing instead of a frightened thing, but yeah. I'd like to have a custom vampire like frenzy token.
Chris over here is almost having a werewolf frenzy.
No, it's not
Yeah.
Chris. It's someone else. Charlie.
Charlie will get out of the van, will activate Blink, and will run into the building past all this. Do an investing swarm attack. Get on top of them as quick as possible and as deep into the structure as possible. I need a rouse check for Blink, don't I?
Yep.
Okay, got it. So if there's 3 other vampires, you're just gonna get jumped alone. Got it.
The benefit of blink is that you do get a action at the end of the movement.
Yes.
And so, what do I see once I'm inside the building?
Chris lying on top of one vampire who has the fangs out and is snarling in blind rage, and another person. You don't know if it's a vampire. Very pale, so it might be. But whatever the case is, it's a dead body on the ground because it has an arrow shaft sticking right out of the chest where the heart should be. So either it's a very dead mortal or it's a staked vampire. Either case, they're not moving.
So there's no more vampires within the building.
That's correct.
I'm not wasting my blink. Okay, there's definitely nowhere else an extra one could be hiding or anything like that.
There's a back door into the stores and whatnot. There could be people.
Yeah, I'll check that since this seems to be under control. I'll keep my momentum going and open that door to make sure.
Yep. Looking through the hallway. You have a shotgun, I guess? Because it's handy to have. But there's only quiet darkness in there. Nothing is stirring at this particular point in
Not
time.
even a mouse?
Possibly a mouse.
Be a weird mouse.
Yeah, the mouse is no longer because it was blasted to pieces by white phosphor. Oh, maybe not. Sylvester.
So, how I've understood this is, are we, me and Kate, like on the opposite side of the building?
Yeah,
Okay.
I should probably place Kate over there, right? Because you're and Sylvester as well.
Okay, in this case, Sylvester might try the back door.
Very well. The back door has a very nice big padlock on it.
Okay, let's shoot off the padlock.
Bam!
So, should I roll firearms for this?
We have some composure. Oh, you're terrible at this. Yes,
I am
please.
terrible, yes.
Yes, please. You're terrible at this. Anything of any kind of hilarity might ensue.
Yes, I'm gonna blood search this. Funny enough, I almost have a better chance just like pistol whipping the lock open, which is so stupid. You might just try that, funny enough. How sturdy are we talking? Is this padlock looking?
This is feats of strength, right?
I mean, if it's a master lock, it'd probably only take, what, 2 successes?
Break open a metal fire door. That's 5 strength to do. Yeah.
What about the lock?
So, I think we need to roll for this.
Okay, that can be done, no problem. I have more dice in that.
There we go.
Oh my god, I'm willpower rerolling. That's
Amazing.
so sad.
God.
That's better. Probably not enough.
What kind of a roll did we have there? 3 success. That is actually plus cocaine. I love that.
Yeah.
With the help of the cocaine, the power of cocaine.
Of course.
This channel does not endorse or the use of illegal substances in any way, shape, or form.
We don't?
I
I'd
don't.
better
legalized
change
cocaine.
channels. So.
Exactly. Sylvester, bam! You break open the padlock with I don't know what you're using.
The gun.
The gun. Okay, so we're jamming the barrel inside and then just using it as leverage, and somehow
Yeah, just
the
using
lock-
like a metal part and just like hitting a weak spot on the padlock.
Yeah, and somehow the padlock breaks before your gun does, which is a good thing. And
That
yeah,
does
you
my
can see
jam, though.
inside now.
Then I go.
Okay, I need to think on things before we get to Tony.
What, gonna add more victims?
Maybe.
You ready for me?
Yeah, I'm ready for you.
Alright, I use my 2 minor actions to first of all reload the crossbow, then get out of the van back into the fight. And then I call the shot and try to stake this one as well.
All right.
Oh, Chris is still on top of her.
Yes. He'll be fine.
It just means it'll be harder to do.
That's fine. -4.
Yep.
He'll be fine.
Totes. What?
What the fuck? It will be fine. What? Okay.
Please don't have shot me.
-2 for the successes. And then... So you have 2 plus... 2. That's 4 successes. That's not quite going to be enough to actually stake. It's so close, but because there's Chris on top and there's delay going on.
Wait, hold on. You said minus the successes and then -2 dice?
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, then I removed 4 dice from the roll, which means I get to roll 2 more. And let's see. That's 2 failures, which means, can I push that?
Of course you can.
All right, I'm going to quickly spend the willpower and just roll 2 more dice, like this. Okay, then. So that's 1 more success, 5, 6. Goddamn.
It's 5 successes. Minus 2 successes is 3 successes. Which is 5 damage, which is exactly what you needed.
Oh shit.
Thump.
So she's.
Yep.
All right then.
That was over really quickly.
Wait, that's it?
Sylvester busts
Yeah.
in through the door, gun in hand, sees that he's already missed most of the combat. God damn it. Ah.
Okay. Okay, if there's anybody good looking for clues, search what they were working at. I guess we'll bring these guys to our friend the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah, there's fangs out on this one. And the other one didn't have time to do the fangs out. Both of them have shotguns.
Let's check the shells inside. Are they white phosphorus?
Of course they are.
Oh fuck.
You started it.
That's fair. That's fair. Tony does say that in character. That's fair.
I didn't think we'd even let anybody get away to tell them we were using white phos.
There was visible evidence, like scorch marks and 2 very dead vampires. The bodies weren't there, but it was heavily implied that white phosphorus was
I think
used.
doesn't white phosphorus leave a chemical residue around for
Yes, it
crime
does.
technicians?
It leaves fire. There were burning things in the room, and it's not hard to connect the dots. There's
No,
no
it's
bodies, and there are scorch marks.
Yeah,
It probably has a chemical smell as well.
Yeah, it's not just normal fire.
it's not.
It's
thrown
very
fire.
easy to do it. Just like a, you wouldn't even think. I don't even think you would have to roll with how easy it is to figure out what happened there if you're a vampire.
You would still need to know chemically what white phosphorus is, but yeah.
This is where the science skill gets
Yeah.
nifty.
But
All
yeah,
you need to know is that
Kate's
fire
gonna
is-
Maybe pretty obvious, if I remember this rightly, phosphorus burns into phosphine, and phosphine smells like cat urine.
Yeah.
Awful.
Phosphorus has a very distinctive smell. And it
Kate's going to
gets
start
into
searching
your-
the workshop
Enough about
for
phosphorus. Enough about phosphorus.
information.
What else is there?
Yep. Kate is.
Can I
going to
assist
be-
Kate in looking for clues?
Oh, the scene is over, so the compulsion is over.
Yep.
Good for you, Kate.
Yes.
All right,
May
we
I-
need some
I
investigation
assist
skills
Kate?
here, don't we?
Yes. Do you want to roll yourself, or do you want to add to my roll?
I'd like to add to your roll.
Okay. How are you doing that, Michael?
You just add another die to your roll.
+1.
Wait.
While they're doing that, can we, without dice, move the bodies into the truck?
Sure, absolutely.
We can search the bodies once we've done that as well.
Yeah.
And she'll re-roll, just in case.
Boy.
All right. Oh, now we have another possible metacritical, which is obviously a metacritical because that is a lot of successes, isn't it? Kate's beast is just on the hunt tonight for anything. And okay, that makes sense. We need to get out of here. We need to get out of here. This wasn't all of them. Maybe all of the others will come back any moment now.
I still succeed.
Yes, you do. but you're absolutely sure in your heart of hearts that they're all coming back any moment now.
That's good. She's scared, but that will mean she doesn't need to hunt them down.
All right.
Do we get anything for the investigation for like
Absolutely.
searching the building and the bodies and such like?
You are gonna search everything, top to bottom, and draw conclusions. There we go. Let's see. We have fairly elementary things here. Evidence of them swapping their plates on the truck and their bikes. And you have some torn slips. It says 33.2R. There is a police scanner that has been plugged into a hacked power strip. Excuse me. Metal shavings under the bumper. There's been a lot of work being done here on their bikes, basically. There is gonna be some... you'll find some... the smell of bleach and ammonia. And they've definitely cleaned up blood.
Is there any left?
You know what?
Because I do have Shape the Sanguine Sacrament, so I can find it.
Yes, you do. There is a bowl sitting on a foldable table, and there's some residue of blood in there. Absolutely.
Does it look like a ritual, or...
Yes,
Setup?
definitely. To you, it definitely looks like a ritual.
Could I identify what sort?
Let's see.
Are there any interesting symbols?
Not really.
Ah,
With an intelligence occult check, you might be able to, but I'm not going to give you the specialty for blood magic.
Fair enough.
Because I'm evil that way.
Could I add my blood sorcery discipline as bonus?
Not in this case.
Fair enough. New modifier -2. Great.
Yes, because you are scared.
so Sylvester might also take a look at it. He does like the occult.
He does, doesn't he? That's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. You don't know what they were doing
Might
here.
well power that.
There's a lot of dice on the screen.
Oh my goodness.
This.
Yeah, such bad luck.
Yep. No, you can't tell what they've been doing here.
We can ask him after we get him out of here.
Yeah, there wasn't even
So
a
what about
shot
the-
fight. You got in here, and the whole thing happened without a single shot being fired.
Yeah, over the
Yeah.
course of 15 seconds, probably.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Which is surprising.
I am really happy. She's still skittery, but she's going to approach Tony just like... I'm very impressed by how that went. Good job.
Thank you.
Maybe it's good I just opened the lock without firing her.
Tony is a little bit unnerved to get an unironic compliment from Kate. That's more unnerving than anything else of any of the other actions he's done.
The worst
She's
thing
got
that's
a mental
ever happened to him.
derangement. Give us some slack.
No, it's just like, I get that. It's just, it makes Tony feel like he's going to be murdered in his sleep. today.
Why did I get some slack?
fair.
I don't know.
So do we want to take these two back to the sheriff now? Or we want to try and milk this site for some more and sit on it for the rest of the night, see if any more turn up? We could do both. If anybody wants to take the van with the prisoners back, and some of us could stay here.
And who?
We've
Well,
Who's
we only
volunteering to
have
take
one
them
ride
back?
here. We only have one
Yeah.
ride. So how about we all just go together?
There's also the 22 like R, or what was the clue you said?
33 2R.
33 2R. I'm just gonna write that down.
Sort of like a payslip.
3.
Looks like that.
Does anyone recognize this?
I mean,
Wasn't there a number in one of my visions?
Yeah, that was the number.
Yeah.
What's the number? Mm.
Does anyone
So,
recognize where this may come from?
What's the number again? Sorry.
33 2R.
33 2R. Could be.
Apartment number, maybe?
Yeah, or
Floor?
maybe
Hotel number?
a hotel room number, maybe.
Storage locker?
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe,
storage
maybe.
locker. Yeah, it's-
Oh, good thing we have Sleeping Beauties over here to ask.
Yes. Is there like a streetwise or any other role we could try that seems appropriate?
Streetwise is more like talking to the criminal underground
Well,
and stuff like that, right?
Not just talking. Oh yeah, I guess larceny's the intelligence base of that. No, the larceny's the physical.
Larceny is the physical. Streetwise is more just like
It's the social, but it's also the knowledge base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really useful skill because it's a wide selection of things.
It
Wait,
doesn't have to be streetwise. Is there an appropriate skill that some of us could roll that may
I
give
have
us information?
survival, and it's. I think I specifically said no. It's Paul who has specifically cities, but you can roll survival. I think for the city to know, like, where the shortcuts are and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
I'm more
what
talking
you're
about
talking
identifying what this could mean.
Oh,
What sort of business might be attached to this?
Okay, this we're going to have to be careful here because this could constitute cheating. Because I just did a search on this, and obviously we couldn't do this back in this era. But I found it's a type of resistor, an electronic component. So depending on what Kate's tech skill is, she might know that.
Nice job for just cheating there. Anyway,
Let's try to wipe the. Oh yeah, resistors
at
are
least being
written
more
like
subtle
that.
about it. Jesus.
But
Well,
like,
I did say, is there any role we could make?
Yes, there was that.
If you do like tech high enough, we'll
Well,
see
it may not
reasonable.
be tech. We'll just.
yeah, that
Right now,
could be just a coincidence.
it's hard to
'Cause-
say because it's completely out of context. It
Yeah,
could
like-
be, like you had an 8 successes on your investigation intelligence, which is stupid good. As
I
for
mean, instead
Kate,
of baseless theories, we could always ask the prisoners after we get them to the sheriff.
You mean
Yeah, we don't keep
the
them
cult members who
after the sheriff gets
totally...
them.
But I mean, here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We get to like the area, we unstake one of them, and then we ask them.
No,
Are you going to torture them?
I'm going to object right there where you said unstake one. Yeah, no.
Hold up. Look, it's one vampire. They're probably a neonate, considering how easy they were to take out.
I'll
It
point
won't
out,
have much.
any vampire is easy to take out if you shoot them in the heart.
Yeah, yeah.
That
yeah,
goes from
whatever.
neonates to elders. But the bigger question was, are you going to torture them?
No, not immediately.
Then who is?
Tony looks at you and just gives you like a "Are you serious?" look. Just looks you up and down like, "Come on." We
I
both know.
can
We both know.
talk to
man.
them
You don't
mentally.
enjoy this, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're better at it. You're better at it. Okay.
Wait.
What was Sylvester saying?
I could
Yeah, listen to what.
wring the truth out of them without having to resort to any physical altercation.
Do they need to be conscious?
Yes. Not so much a power thing, just making them talk and accidentally make them reveal more than they're supposed to.
We definitely shouldn't interrogate this fucking bootleg Nosferatu looking motherfucker.
Sure. We'll collect what we can from the site, including any weapons they had, which I'm sure we find
There's
in
going to
our
be bladed
investigation.
weapons, large knives, and
Anything that looks like it's not standard.
yeah.
Also, like the white phosphorus shells, the shotgun.
Obviously, they will have stakes and such available as well. That's not strange. They just never had the chance to use them because, yeah, for once, the Oddjob gang just absolutely not for once. This is the second takedown.
Yeah.
I
Well, to be
I don't
fair, it
wanna-
was 2 versus 5.
Yeah, yeah.
It was 3 versus 2 because you two did fucking nothing.
Wait.
Sylvester,
like,
open to luck.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to
honestly, it was a 2v2 because Charlie wasn't doing much either.
He came in for backup at the appropriate time.
I think this is the perfect time for a short break, don't you all? Yes, you do. We'll see you all in 5 minutes, gang.
Yes.
Sorry. We're back! And I clicked on the wrong button, so now I have to... I clicked on stop streaming instead of unmute. Because I'm brilliant.
The stream ended.
Nope, the stream is up again. Okay, we're back. I clicked on the wrong button and I ended the stream, and then I put it on again, so now it's on again. And I'm gonna have to fix this in post, as they say, for YouTube. But that's okay. We left our heroes, protagonists, in the back alley with two staked vampires having a heated conversation because Tony, the Bruja, is usually quite heated these nights. That is where his humanity has taken him, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that, like, basically, the low humanity brings him basically even more anger issues.
We can go through the whole, what kind of social disorder, what kind of mental disorder you have is developing within you. So
Definitely just horrible anger and snapping at people.
Kate feels much better in her mind as she has taken steps to wipe the Sabbat out of the city for the Camarilla, thus fulfilling a desire, which is more than I can say for any of the other characters, because oh, Chris might have proven that beauty exists in violence. How would that have been proven, though? Was it because of the excellent takedown? Because that crit was amazing.
But
Maybe
that I
you
wouldn't
slammed
say,
him into the
oh, that's
ground
so
so
good.
hard.
I would argue that Chris is
Just
definitely
cracked.
picking up because
Everybody
that was
talking
like-
at once is what we need.
I would argue that Chris's point has definitely been proven because that was an excellent takedown.
It was. The 12 successes there was pretty...
It would make more sense if Chris was witnessing the takedown. Because he'd be
No,
seeing the art.
Chris wants to like create something beautiful for people to enjoy while they watch.
Fair enough.
Like,
So he
Yeah,
wants
maybe
to do
slammed him
violence.
into the ground so hard the concrete cracked.
Yes, he did.
It's another little Jesus in the cracks or something.
Indeed. Yeah, no, it's not a Jesus in the cracks this time. It's just, he didn't get his clan compulsion. He just... Yeah. I could have given you... Next time I'm going to give you the clan compulsion for a messy critical. I have to remember this. Messy critical in the middle of a fight. Clan compulsion activate for Chris, because this is what he wants to have. Oh, that was so beautiful. I felt so good in my body. I did everything right. This is like the rush of adrenaline that he would have had as an athletic performer in his breathing days when he had the perfect result and won a competition and was on top of the podium. That type of thrill. Yes,
So he's the
nailed it.
worst, most awkward person you could possibly be stuck at a grapple with.
Yep. Yep, that's probably...
As he starts moaning mid-grapple.
oh yes, let's get weird with it.
There it was.
Man,
oh,
maybe
yes.
it was a mercy that Tony staked her.
Oh, man.
Basically, this just is. It's like Patrick Swayze's two most famous works, Dirty Dancing and Roadhouse, combined.
Yes,
Dirty Roadhouse.
exactly. You're getting it, Roger. You're
I've
getting
seen one of those movies, and it's surprisingly a Roadhouse.
Yeah, that is surprising, actually.
Yeah, no,
it. I haven't seen Roadhouse.
my friends memed on it a lot. I don't know why.
It is just shortly after 1 a.m. on the night after 4th of July. The city is still in party mode because, obviously, though
4th of
not here
July.
because you're very far from downtown or the nightclub district. Yeah, there's... You
Jeez,
still hear firecrackers, or
Yeah.
is it... And probably see the bloom of fireworks far away because it's still the night of 1st of July. And
Pollution.
yeah, there might be some gunfire involved in that as well, though potentially not as much as there would be in Los Angeles, perhaps. Still.
So even if you... The thing is, like, if you fire our guns, they might actually just be mistaken for fireworks, for coincidentally, because that's like the one time of year where you would hear fireworks.
It's those ones that sparkle because it's phosphorus, but doesn't go very far. Okay, once we've cleaned the site of any residue that we were there, I guess we want to interrogate them?
First off, what does the ritual look like? Because we found like some ritual stuff, right?
You don't know what the ritual looks like. You haven't seen it
No,
performed.
what does it physically look like?
What does it physically look like?
The
There's
remains of a bowl, which is actually just a plastic bowl. It's things you can have your ramen noodles in, basically, or a cereal bowl, what have you. It's a very simple bowl, and that's really
Just like some dried blood in the bottom?
Yep.
Okay. Then Sylvester
We've
will
gone to
just
great lengths so far
that.
to avoid doing bad things ourselves and make everything the sheriff's problem. I see no reason to deviate from this.
Damn.
Well, what we
Wise
could
words
do
were
is we
never
could just
spoken.
leave the bodies in the van, back the van up to a safe distance, and just wait for a few more hours just to see if anybody else turns up, then go make this the sheriff's problem.
That sounds okay. Is everybody else up for some
Don't have
staking
a
out?
problem with that. It's just the whole thing of these are our last clues. Like the two here are like, aside from the 33 2R, like these are our last actual leads. We also don't know how many Sabbat were in the city.
Yeah, how's
So-
that ratio doing at the moment? The most we saw was at the Opera House.
Yeah.
How many were there compared to how many we know now accounted for?
These guys will be
about
our fifth.
10-ish, maybe. So you might have taken out half of them. Like, you recognize their faces; they were there.
And we've taken out 5 pretty much, including
Yeah,
these
we've taken
two.
out 5, including their leader, or at least their
Let's see.
visible leader.
And sitting on this building may bring us into contact with some more.
Possibly. But if they're working as cells, like I'm fine to just wait a few hours, give the benefit of the doubt, see if anything turns up on the radio or if there's any of their phones. They have phones.
That seems the most productive use for the rest of the night. Just stay here as long as possible, then go drop them off and to the haven.
Do you want to question them though before we drop them off to the sheriff case?
I do. I don't particularly want to torture them.
Okay. Nobody said anything but torture. And
No, but this
Donnie-
is going to devolve into torture.
No, it
if-
won't. It won't.
Okay.
It will.
No. Okay, if you want to torture somebody, go to the Soviet Union, Tony. This is America. We don't torture people here.
Oh, that's what you think. Ah,
That's definitely going into the quotes. It's America. We don't torture here.
Yeah, that one's definitely going in the quote.
mm,
Man, we got
And
competition
maybe-
with 9/11
Already on it.
Metalbot and also, fuck, we should do both at the same time. That would be a really good combo.
Sylvester could try invading their minds. That's less damaging, less hurtful.
yeah, I can't do that. I kind of, but it might not help. I was just thinking of talking to them and accidentally making them reveal more than
Oh, that could work too, I suppose. We'll
You know,
just
just-
wake one of them, though.
classic chatting to
Yeah,
people
I get
and
what you're saying.
don't even have to use any powers for that stuff. That's just magic, just immortal magic.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try that. But no torture, Tony, okay? It's bad for... Torture only encourages the beast.
Don't lecture me about morals.
I'm not lecturing you or morals. I'm trying to stop you becoming a slaving monster.
Are we gonna do this or not?
We're gonna wait a few hours to see if anyone turns up or if there's any calls or radio signals that they're set up for. And if nothing happens, we go back to the Haven, rest for the day, and then start this whole mess the next night.
Alright.
How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay.
Very well.
Dommy, I've just seen you put in the game quotes. This is America, we don't torture people. They've got quote attributed to Charlie, and that was definitely not.
Oh yeah,
said by
sorry,
Charlie.
I keep mixing the names up.
It's definitely not Charlie saying that.
Charlie would
Chris,
fucking
sorry, you both
never.
have such basic names.
He would never.
The Black Panther saying Americans don't torture.
Sorry, it's
the Black
Chris.
Panther and the
Sorry.
Latino. We can just imagine us just rolling our eyes at that point.
Chris, sorry, they're both C names, okay?
It's fine. Yeah.
Taking my meds today. Anyways,
All right. Yeah, we're waiting for a while here. Who is
I mean,
we
it might
out
be
for
an
things?
idea if we're going to. A trophy could be nice if any of you are particularly mechanically inclined. One of their bikes. If you're interested.
Are any of you
Bike?
mechanically inclined? We don't have any.
Probably better to just leave the trackers on the
Technically,
back.
it's a technology role, so Kate
yeah.
could do it, but she's not really. Oh, a trophy would be nice. She doesn't have any of those. Bike
Is
activity.
it just going to be like a Harley Davidson in the middle of the living room back at the Haven?
We put it in the bathroom because we don't need it. The ghouls can piss outside. Because mechanics, is it technology? Is it? Well, craft's art.
Some of it might be craft.
Yeah, but
might
I'm
be
just thinking
craft.
craft's art.
Wait a minute. Tony just had a brilliant idea.
And it's
So,
gone.
if the idea, no, it's still there in my head. Yeah, no, Tony's gonna, if nothing else happens here, he's gonna steal one of those motorcycles.
Ah, stealing, you say?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think it'd call it stealing, but that's fair.
It's stealing, dude.
I doubt they paid for it, is what I'm putting forward.
I'm gonna say a stain each for stealing.
The strong will do what they will to the weak.
Okay.
No stand for me.
Hey, you okayed this?
It does actually
Do I
create a
ever
kind of
not
weird
get that
moral
one?
relativism. We've got the two owners of the bikes staked in the back of the van, and that's not a stain. But if we throw the bikes in as well, it is a stain.
That does seem a bit.
That's fair
wacky.
point. That's a fair point. You attack them, you stake them on the... Yeah, so I guess that's a stain,
Also,
too.
they are murderers.
They are murderers,
not like-
absolutely.
We are also murderers, but they are murderers who are dangerous to wider society.
Yeah,
they
and you
are
have
murderous
one of
just because.
Whatever, man.
What the Chronicle Tenant do no harm but take no...
moral high ground here.
Do no harm but take no shit applies because, as you
Yeah,
say,
we're not
they-
taking shit. These are pristine bikes.
no,
they're
I'm
good.
meaning the Sabbat is like your rival gang in a gang war. So violence
So,
against them is not you're not violating a tenant by fighting them.
could I
guess.
get one of the bikes, please?
Kate's just gonna spend while you guys are doing what? She's just gonna go over the bikes and make sure that they're not bugged or anything. And once she's got the go ahead, she'll be like, "Sure."
They are in fact
Oh,
not
yes.
bugged, as far as you can tell, by with 4 successes taking half.
Yeah. Because I've got that, and like I'd like to check since there is a ritual site here. She'll check for magic bugs as well, which is fair. I'm guessing it's just the same thing except using occult instead of technology.
Yes. You won't find any magic bugs around here. Nothing that you recognize as magic bugs anywhere. No.
Fair enough.
The only bloodstone you'll find is your own.
Great.
And what do we want to do with the bloodstone? Leave it on the van? Or
I don't
if
think.
we don't take both the bikes, we could mark a bike in case that gets moved again.
I don't think they're going to come back for these. We were quite lucky that one cell cared enough to get the bikes back, but the other cells have their bikes, right? The bike to people ratio is even right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also,
it would
even
be.
did care to come back here, they probably realized, oh, they definitely have a tracker on the truck, and they're using it to hunt us down.
Two vampires staked, lying there, staring into empty space.
Also, I mentioned it in the chat, but cell is the term for a hunter group. I think you're thinking of packs. Is this about term?
Like
Yeah,
a terror
but
cell.
the pack would
Yeah.
still be using a cellular structure for security.
Yeah, it's a general term for any
Aha.
black ops agents. If you're in like CIA or other places, then you have a cell. It's a cell. It's called a cell structure because you divide your team up into little groups and you compartmentalize information so that if one person gets captured, they don't know everybody else and can't spill the beans on where everybody else is.
If one cell is breached, it doesn't like jeopardize the whole network,
Exactly. It was
which
used
is
in the
very
French-
effective for Sabbat.
It was
Makes
used
sense.
in the French Resistance in World War II, for example. To some success, not complete success. They tried. Problem is when you get a hold of the person who keeps track of all the cells, and that one person who is, because that's that.
Then you get to get a little silly with it if you find that person.
Yes. And that happened in the Dutch underground.
Oh.
Yeah, the Germans
they
got a
got
hold
silly.
of everything, and they kept sending messages to the British about send a saboteur agent to this place at this time, and every time they landed, they were snatched immediately. So, because
There's
the
one
British were
story
kind of
about they captured one of the radio operators, and it was going to make him send false messages back. And the first time he did it, he deliberately messed up his security authentication code so the British would know he was compromised and not listen to anything he sent from then on. But then the dumbass British operator said, "Stop screwing up your security code, you idiot."
Yep.
So then the Nazis immediately knew that he'd been trying to warn the British.
Yep. Yeah, the British were not a bit amateurish in the first couple of years of the war, no doubt with that.
And
Anyway, back to the present, which is in 1991, and the odd job gang who is walking around here thinking about what they should do with two Sabbat vampires who are staked. Are we torturing them first for information? Are we putting them in the van? Are we waiting here
Well,
for...
they're in the van. They're in the
hours?
van.
They're in the van. Are we staying here for a couple of hours? You've been here for about an hour by now.
I mean that was the plan. That
Yep.
I said we'd stay here for a few hours, like Charlie said. Watch to see if there's any activity, see if there's any radio chatter or other messages that arrive. During that time, I guess Kate will look over the bikes, make sure they're clean, and
Yeah, they're clean.
other people are on watch. And once that's all done, if nothing happens, she'll get in the van with everyone else. We'll go back to the Haven, rest, because it'll probably be near morning.
Yeah.
By the time all
it's
that's done.
Yeah, by the time all that is done, it is in fact going to be
But-
later morning. We're going
And-
back to our haven. Your haven.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
my
with Tony
haven.
riding it on a bike.
With Tony riding a bike. They're actually
And
pretty.
Sylvester riding a bike, high as fuck.
Of course.
Woohoo!
Hey, that's great. What about Chris? How are you driving?
I'll just go
Do you
back
like-
with Charlie.
Okay, so you're in shotgun?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just Kate in the back with the bodies. Yay.
Where she belongs.
Yeah,
Is
she's
she-
gonna have a snack.
Oh, is she gonna have a snack? On
She's
bodies?
gonna have a snack.
Who is she snacking on?
She's gonna go through their pockets. The one that looks most like it knows blood magic. I know that's a superficial thing. Just like
Superficial.
the person who looks most they have any magical training or knowledge. That could be a unhelpful thing, but she's gonna eat from one of them. Not much, but just for the sake of it. She's slowly turning into a blood leech.
Nah. Who would look most like a blood sorcerer to you? One of them.
Checking their pockets. Does anyone have bones or shit in their pockets?
No, they don't. What you find in one pocket is some bolt nuts and a small
Thinking back,
bottle of what do you call it? Lubricant oil for machinery, and the other one knuckle dusters.
that's fine. I think she's thinking back, and she's gonna take a sip from whatever one Chris wasn't gyrating on top of.
Oh, that would be this one, the one with the goggles.
Yeah.
That makes you one step towards blood bond towards Anyway,
Technically two-step, but
two
yes.
steps, yes. Because Tremere, yeah. You really like this person. You don't want her to get hurt. She's amazing.
It's not my.
and-
Who's more amazing? The Tremere elders who have told me to kill her.
This is true. Yes, the Tremere elders are even more amazing. Yes. As you lower your head down to, I don't know, are we doing the arm, the neck? Where are we biting? Give me details.
Whichever is most convenient.
Okay.
I think
like
she's
a
probably
wrist.
just biting the wrist
Yeah.
as they're like limply strapped in.
You'll hear
as they're moving with every bump in a pothole in the road.
you'll hear in the back of your mind a voice, a soft young woman's voice. You know this voice. You've heard it before. It's like, Kate, don't. This isn't medicine. This is a chain. And then there's a dry young man's chuckle edge. And
Yep.
then you bite down. You should help people, not own them.
She can't do much about the voices, but she's going to think, yeah, to the victor the spoils. Everyone else got bikes. I get a snack.
You're just
yeah.
the worst, says the male voice.
Thank you.
You could be
This
better
reminds
than
me
this.
of the scene, it's the love bug, towards the end of the race, where Herbie is falling apart and the mechanic's in the back seat trying to weld Herbie back together. And the driver says, "What goes on?" And the mechanic says, "Just keep driving and try not to think about what I'm doing."
You will hear in the back of your head, you could be better than this. Just stop.
I am. That's why I'm eating them and they're not eating me.
This is exactly, you hear the man's voice. You stop lying to yourself, haven't you, Kate? You.
Oh, I'm not going to take advice from the worst fucking spy I've ever seen.
You monster.
Oh, were you a saint? Is that what you are? The hoodie and the underneath the overpass? Were you a saint there? Were you praying for people's redemption? Or were you fucking spy doing spy shit? Just got unlucky when you tried to mind control me. Get off your fucking high horse.
I was never like you.
Yeah, that's why you lost.
Yeah. Without further incident, the gang
Yeah.
gets home with now 2 staked vampires. This is not the first time that you've had staked vampires around.
At one point, we need to invest in like getting some cages in our basement.
There is.
Yeah, right
there
now
is-
we're just putting them on like pallets.
There is actually a part, like, what the background has cells, like
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing.
things you can get.
Do the
yes.
bodyguard see us taking 2 dead women?
Probably not,
It
because you're
is,
trying to get to your
it is
garage.
practical to have, but I didn't expect us to need it this much.
Happens a lot.
It happens.
It really
It does
does.
happen a lot.
So you're driving
like-
the van into the garage, and your guards who keep the shift over the night, and they're outside. They don't go into the house. So unless they specifically have to tell you that there's someone at the door or whatever. But generally speaking, I feel like they've gotten clear instructions from Tony to just chill it with that part and stay outside.
One outside the other in the security room, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, in the basement they go, and as long as nobody yanks the stake out, they're gonna be safe down there. And
Well,
so
where
it
can we
is.
safe? Not
They're gonna be. They can't do anything to you,
exactly.
but
Where
who
can we
knows what
safe?
you can do to them?
Oh, a whole lot.
A whole lot, yeah. That's the risk. Daylight will come.
I don't know. Here come the remorse checks.
Yes. I don't know if I actually added any. Oh, I added some. But Kate is fine.
Oh, she had remorse checks from the session before,
Oh, got you.
but it was the
Oh,
same.
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same night.
Yes, it is.
What did you do even?
Rolling remorse. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I mentally and socially assaulted one of my cultists.
Yeah.
Oh
And my
yeah,
young cultist.
I forgot the
was the
last
public
session
humiliation.
to roll for remorse at the end of the session.
Oh, because you're supposed to roll at the end of the night.
Or session,
Isn't
whatever.
it?
Yeah. It
At the end of the
Oh.
session, usually.
Usually we do it at the end of the session, but it also gets weird when it's in the middle of the action. So.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's not a huge.
Yeah, it's because she went from one aggressive outburst on a human and a ghoul to straight into this, like, assault. So it wouldn't make much sense to be remorseful mid-fight.
Fair enough.
All right.
Now
so
she's got time to think about it.
you do have time to think about it. Sunset is 8:30 because it's July. And it's no longer the 4th of July. People will be back to normal living,
8:30 is
basically.
sunset. Oh, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got confused.
So everybody
I-
can roll
by the
around to
way,
take a
I-
week.
By the way, I feel like out of character. Like once Kate's humanity gets low enough, we might just straight up kick you out of the coterie. There's a good chance that we'll just be like, "Fuck that noise."
Kate and Tony
The
currently
problem
have
is-
the race to the bottom, right? So
Yeah,
Is
it would
such
be
a,
fair, but like, we do not want to associate with you, evil motherfuckers. For both of us.
the thing is, like, Kate is so good at organizing the coterie that it's gonna be hard to do that.
Sylvester will take over the organizing.
Oh
He
no.
just keeps rescheduling the intervention.
ADHD moment.
Yep.
To be fair, Tony, one day, if Chris didn't have the struggle to it to the week, you would have lower humanity than me by now.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
This is a weird game that way. Did everybody roll
Okay.
rouse checks?
Oh
I
yeah,
haven't
Rouse
seen
check.
any
Alright,
rouse checks.
it's a new night.
Oh, yeah,
I
sorry.
forgot,
Yeah,
sorry.
I was asking about
Give me
rouse
2
checks.
seconds. I accidentally dropped my glasses, so I need to pick them up before I can. Let me just roll the roll check like a emergency.
Also, there is a decent chance that when we pull out the stake, they won't just immediately revive. That's something that happens.
Hungry.
Hunger strikes.
I gotta love for the entirety of the session, I keep like rouse checking, but like when it comes to something small that is just like waking up at the start of the night, no, that's when you're hungry.
Yes.
So peckish.
Yep. So peckish. So, a new night, and since no one here has Humanity 8, everybody wakes at roughly the same time. Why don't we go with are you? Yeah, you're staying in this haven here for this night, because that way you can get away from Kami for a little while, can't you? What might you be doing the
Also-
first thing that happens? Let's go. We have
Are we just doing everyone together, or are we doing individual things?
Charlie wakes up first this time. Let's go with that. This is a
I
matter
was
of
gonna
myths.
say,
It's not a matter
Regardless of when Sylvester wakes up, he'll probably be the last because he spends so much time in the bathroom
of...
getting ready.
That
Always
makes
assume he's
sense.
last.
That makes sense.
Making sure everything's lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have the eyeliner and all the hair products.
We shouldn't take it lightly. It's just how it is.
Since Charlie woke up first, when you come down and see him, he's on the couch reading Men Who Hate Women and the Women Who Love Them. Because this is reading a cookery book when you're hungry and he's thinking about his next meal.
He's watching that Lifetime movie with John Ritter where he plays an abusive husband who fools himself into thinking he's the perfect husband.
So I guess that's what you're doing at the start of the night. Kate, you're next.
Yeah, she's just going to make sure that our downstairs guests are still properly secured.
Oh yeah, they're very properly secured. They're just lying there, staring into empty space still.
It's fair. She's going to play eeny, meeny, miny, mo to figure out which one to pull out. She's not going to pull it out now, but once she's
Okay.
selected whichever one, I think this one, why not? She'll call out, somebody give me a hand, as she starts trying to carry them up to a chair.
Sylvester
Or somewhere they can be restrained.
takes longer because hair products. Okay. Then it's Tony.
Yeah, Tony, after he gets ready for the day, instead of immediately heading out, just sits around in his room that's with the lights turned off and just basically spends the time he has alone in it thinking.
He's a bit messed up in the head right now, isn't he? What kind of thoughts might be going through his head? Is it hard for him to articulate what he's... the turmoil, the emptiness, the...
It's just, he thinks about this empty feeling that's gotten worse over the course of these 6 months. About how it frightens him. And not just that, just also other things. The Sabbat, and how they're definitely significantly more dangerous with these phosphorus rounds. Shells. How, honestly, he isn't even safe in the Haven, but with Kate in it.
Kate would never attack you directly.
That's so much more comforting.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm more concerned about the safety of the people whom I like. I know that you're not the type to attack directly.
In that case, learn to be more polite.
Charlie, what might you be doing as your body is reanimated yet again from the long day sleep?
You say, Charlie, did you mean Chris?
No, I meant Charlie.
Once,
Oh no, but you did the whole, you're reading the thing. Okay, so, sorry, Chris then. Yes, my bad. You're right. Blah. I don't need coffee, you do.
I guess I'll go and check on the prisoners to make sure they're still here.
Very well. One thing about being a vampire is that getting ready for the night is really fast. You don't sweat, so you don't have to take showers very regularly. The only thing you need to do, obviously, if you're outside and rolling around in the mud, Chris did last night on the ground with a vampire, then a shower could be in place. But the whole body odor thing and keeping clean from grime and muck is not as nearly as difficult for a vampire as it is for the mortals, because no sweating. So it's pretty easy. You get out of bed, you put on some new clothes, and you are ready to seize the night. Unless you're doing things like Charlie and Sylvester and Tony right now. So when Chris comes down to the rest of the building, Charlie, you're going to see Kate go by and go down to the van, or the basement, as it were, to your two house guests.
yeah, so Charlie will assume the plan is still to just go straight to the sheriff with these two, because he wasn't, I think he was there for part of the conversation where they were talking about interrogating ourselves. Or even if he did hear some of that, he's developed selective memory and is just going to try and steer this away from doing the interrogation ourselves. So we'll just go down to help Kate get the prisoners back up, just assuming they're going in the back of the van and going straight to the sheriff immediately. So he's gonna be helping carry him up, and we'll just be steering into the back of the van. So Kate will have to specifically tell him not to
She
put
starts
them
pulling the legs into the office, and you start pulling the shoulders towards the back, and just like, no, this way.
Yep, that's probably what happens. So you're going to end up in the office eventually.
She's gonna, once one of them is put, and probably, put in the chair, which one of us is better at knots? We've got manacles, but we still need to make sure.
really sound doing this, then probably duct tape. Lots and lots of duct tape.
But it's leather. Fine.
I
don't
some glue,
trust
but it's
duct-
probably not the type you want to use for this.
You've got that fancy silken rope.
Fucking shibari rope, no.
Yeah. You gotta unlace it from the top of your headboard.
Yeah, I gotta uncoil it. That duct tape should do. How much
would-
we got? Do we need to make a shopping trip or?
I need a picture for one of your offices, clearly. I don't have that yet. It's very sad. Tony still hasn't come out. Sylvester, I guess, has come out by now with a cloud of hairspray smell around
Oh,
him.
I sure have come out, haven't I?
Oh, absolutely. Of everything. Closets, rooms, and bathrooms as well. The lot. Leo, is he with you or is he snoring again?
Roll a dice.
I'm rolling a die. I rolled a 2. He is snoring again.
He is allowed.
He's
been,
also
like,
coming off a drug bender.
It's not much. Leo doesn't do much of that, but he does.
He is
straight-
fully sober.
Yeah, straight edge.
Oh.
She doesn't do
Wh-
anything.
What he does do is spend too much time awake watching over Sylvester. So he has that cycle when he's up for 72 hours and then he crashes and just sleeps for 24.
It's
And,
Sylvester's friend that is coming off a drug bender, and yeah, Sylvester should probably call him after this. See
Josh
how-
doesn't come
if
off
he's alright.
drug benders. He just continues them forever.
Yeah, mostly.
He's
They're-
on the
Leo and Josh
bender.
are completely opposite in this regard. Yeah. Anyway, so Chris, did you want to join the group here in the interrogation office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll have
I guess
Chris and
I guess there's enough time for Tony to
there definitely is.
hobble around. I guess he'll finally leave the room.
You hear people do things outside in the house, and you notice that they're all awake now, and Kate and Charlie are carrying something. I'm not gonna say necessarily heavy, because vampires I feel like are generally slightly lighter than humans. I don't know why I have that feeling, but it's yeah.
We just need a lot of the atrophied organs. A lot
Yeah,
less
there's some
fluid.
atrophied organs in there, absolutely.
And they don't eat as much, so
No,
very liquid diet.
very liquid diet. Yeah.
a lot less going
Like
on.
the intestine would have shriveled up to
Yeah.
a lot less. And that's
So-
pretty heavy.
Yeah.
This is a perfect moment to tell you that I'm currently eating. Anyway, it's fine. I don't give a shit.
I'm currently drinking a cup of coffee, so
Coffee.
I need
Still
some
I need
some.
some.
bread buns with like.
seriously, I am
beans.
Swedish.
Okay. Are we ready to unstake this guy or what?
At
And
first,
Charlie
let me
thinks
just-
this. Charlie thinks
Wait,
doing
that's
this
not great.
interrogation ourselves is a terrible idea, and he's just going to excuse himself to take the van around to the body shop to get it fixed up, because we cannot afford to have anything suspicious looking about that van. We cannot get pulled over in it, so he's just going to take it to be repaired while.
No. You're here with this. We're all part of this.
It's fine if he wants to be away from this. My plan is just first plan, talk to them. No need for any disciplines, just regular old mental manipulation without hurting their psyche. And
That's not gonna work, but feel free to.
oh,
Do
you
we
never
even
know.
know if they have disciplines?
Of course they have disciplines.
Oh, they
They're
must.
fucking
Specifically
vampires.
disciplines that would go horrifically badly if we make eye contact with them.
Yeah, why don't we blindfold them?
Then,
Yeah. So everybody
yes,
get sunglasses.
yes. No, I
Yeah, so I guess Tony will
blindfold
quickly
would
grab
do
some
nicely,
tape.
actually.
Yeah, Tony will quickly grab some tape and just put tape over the eyes.
Oh, that's gonna be
You know it
weird.
stops us using disciplines on them as well, right?
Yeah, okay.
Well, as long as they hear my voice. Do they have to only hear my voice for dementation to work? It's a conversation. You don't need eye contact, I think.
That makes sense.
It is.
Yeah,
a
you just need to talk to them, it says.
dominate power. Let's see what. it
This
says.
subtle power requires nothing more than a casual conversation.
That it says.
So I would
yeah.
assume-
That's
yeah.
Okay.
Because plan B is to use dementation. He's first gonna just try to talk to them regularly. I wish he would explain in character. So, first plan, I just talk to them regularly. A little bit of
Can we do a kind of a good cop, bad cop thing?
Sure.
I feel like he wouldn't be compared to other options, make a very good bad cop.
Let's assume they're not
I'm-
idiots.
Do you want to play bad cop?
I'm not so good at the whole bad cop thing. I'm more good at making people talk.
Yeah, Chris, I'm sure Charlie would attest to this, but the good cop, bad cop mainly works against idiot civilians. That's why cops do it.
The main problem with coercive interrogation is it does make people confess whether they did it or not.
Yep.
The thing is, we know they did it. We're not even sure they have the information we want. But we can get a timeline together. We do have some information we can corroborate to see where they're telling the truth, the timeline of events and all that. Okay.
Just before this may start accelerating quickly, about using disciplines in them, what exactly will your dementation do to them?
It will make them start taking willpower damage and eventually get mechanically they will potentially get a compulsion, which will lower their rolls depending on what compulsion they get. And it might make them desperate enough. But he's first gonna try just talking to them regularly, and if that isn't working that well, he's gonna pull out the dementation card.
Okay, we are on
So
staking.
Yep, they're secured. They're in the chair. They are moistened and in their element.
I'm gonna not have it prone because it's a chair, right?
Head on. Apply directly to the...
Some dignity. yes.
Incapacitated
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Yes.
No,
Until
no,
we tear
incapac-
off
Oh,
the
right.
duct tape and remove their eyebrows.
Ah!
That we're not starting with that.
Okay.
Yes, yet.
And because they're vampires, they'd have to like spend weeks blood surging over and over again to make them grow back. It could be the most unethical thing we'll ever do.
No, to be fair, unless they are a very unique type of vampire, they will return to what they look like in death the next morning.
Yeah. Which means you could technically spend a long time plucking at their eyebrows, like one by one, and
Right.
when they come back, the next night it's back. And you can do it again.
Yeah, but remember, we're not
A
torturing.
very annoying type of torture.
As you are unplugging the stake from the heart, this person is immediately leaning forwards and just snaps the bones like it's nothing. BAM! Ah!
Oh, shit.
Rawr.
War.
Yep.
You too.
In that case, Kate's just gonna
This
look at them and
person
say,
is
"Sit down."
strong.
But they have the blindfold on.
Yes, they have a blindfold on.
Oh, you have immune them to my abilities. Goodbye.
Not even a blindfold, you taped over their eyes.
That's what. That's just significantly what.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's great. It's great. I see no problems with this. Why?
Let's be fair, they are still surrounded.
They are
And
still
sitting
surrounded,
down.
Absolutely. Okay. So I think everybody is at 4 except for Kate and maybe
Why
Tony.
not?
Is it a 5?
I think.
Oh yeah, I'm
Kate's-
at a 5.
Tony's
I
at
have composure, 2 awareness.
Yeah. So everybody else is at 4. Because I remember that.
Great.
So basically, I'm gonna put, just to make it easier here, I'm gonna put Tony and Kate on a 6.
Why am I
Because-
at 6?
Because
yes.
that way I can differentiate clearly from your prisoner here. So Kate is out of here immediately, right? No?
She
Kate is
doesn't
in the back.
like this. She doesn't like this, and she is probably the one who pulled out the stake, but she's going to step aside in a way that she's not blocking anyone else. But to be fair, I think they're surrounded anyway.
Oh yeah,
currently.
they're definitely surrounded. So
I think
not
Sylvester
blocking
will be
anyone.
do
standing
anything.
behind the person, probably.
Tony,
I will be doing a chokehold. Can I do dexterity on that?
yeah.
So it will be like hairish.
Alright.
So we're doing grappling here.
Yep, and blood surge. Boom. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Then, that's a lot.
Pretty decent roll, yeah.
Pretty decent roll. We'll see how it's gonna stack up. Really? That's just terrible. Willpower reroll. Here we go.
Okay, I'm the attacker, she's the defender, which means I win.
Yes, this is correct.
Just barely.
It's a battle of giants going on in the room between Tony and this person. And I think the chair she sat on is now just splintered woods as the two of you just bash into each other, chest against chest, and just stand there and grappling with each other. And she is strong, Tony. Those arms are like steel bars in your hands. You're used to just toss people this way and that way, but not this time. Oh no, you are only just getting a good grip on her. Is this the hardest wrestling match you've ever had against anyone?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, she just stares in your face and
You finally find someone who have matched your freak for real.
she will definitely give in to that frenzy. You can hear her snarling. Sylvester, what do you want to do?
Does it seem like this person is having a frenzy?
Oh, yes,
Or
absolutely.
yeah, okay.
This was a physical provocation from Tony, and they just let the beast go. Ah! The fangs are out, everything.
Sabbat and their frenzies.
Yeah, they do
Sylvester
like
is gonna try to grab some duct tape and just see if he can manage to put it over her mouth.
Duct tape
Over
her mouth.
mouth?
Yeah.
Frenzy
Oh,
vampire.
yeah, just
Okay.
standard maneuver there.
Yeah,
It is a
he's
maneuver.
standing behind her and she's currently grappled, which helps a little bit. It still sucks.
Technically, because of the situation, she's already spent her action economy for the entire round.
Yeah.
She can't fight
Do
back.
whatever you
Yep.
want.
Yep. So you can just do it. Dexterity
Yeah.
brawl.
Yeah, I
Though
will
it's
give
a
it
cold
try.
shot, so I'm gonna reduce. It's a very
Or
specific.
do you just want to
cold
set a
shot.
DC?
So I'm gonna reduce the number of successes by 3 because that's how the rules say that I should treat cold shots. So
Isn't it
Okay.
a -2?
no, it's -3 successes specifically on cold shots. 2 to 4
Oh.
successes, depending on how precise it is. And because
Ah,
you are trying to put
okay.
this
Taping her
tape
mouth
on a
is
mouth,
harder than shooting her heart?
when the mouth is moving like
Yeah,
this
your
in
mouth-
the middle of a melee and from behind, I feel.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
is
just
it?
trying to
I
like
don't know.
duct tape it. It's not. I don't know. I will give it a shot. I don't have
Okay,
any
-2 successes
brawl.
then, I guess.
I can try though.
Yeah, you can try.
So Dex, can I do Dex and brawl?
Yeah.
Dex, I might have to blood search this just so I have some more dice. So it's a -2 successes, right?
That's
Or
correct.
-3?
-2.
Okay.
Because Ender made a
Can
point.
give it a try still. What's that? Boy. I'm gonna rouse that.
Why do you still have the
That's
+1 from the
okay.
cocaine? You still have the +1 from the cocaine.
Yeah, that lasts until next time I feed.
Jesus, what? Okay.
Yep, that's how it works mechanically. It's insane. But
Yeah, there's a
does
few
that
abilities
fail?
like
Because
that.
if I do, I go insane.
That is a fail. Because -2
Oh, no.
successes. So you do not
You
get.
accidentally taped Tony.
Yeah, it's a bestial failure. So Sylvester will immediately have.
Instead of getting a compulsion, can we just say she bites my hand or something? I feel that's fitting.
That is fitting. Let's
take
go.
some damage.
And fangs do. It's health damage, but
aggravated.
it's not aggravated. I don't think.
No, none
No,
of
it's
those
Maybe it
got a
just
different
scrapes
ability.
me. Yeah.
So one of those fangs just
I
scraping.
do have her go insane. Unfortunate.
Fun.
But not too bad in a combat situation, surprisingly.
Yeah. Chris, what do you want to do?
You said that the chair had been broken out into splinters.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. It's been shattered
Are any
between
of them big to make an ad hoc stake?
Yeah, but because it's ad hoc, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be even harder to do so -1 damage on it.
Okay.
Because you haven't sharpened
yeah, okay,
it, right?
that's fair.
It's just,
Yeah. So Chris is gonna
However,
he's gonna
there
use his
is
rapid
still, like-
reflexes to kick a splinter like from the ground into his hand in one motion, and
Yep.
then go for the.
I mean, you have a
Arr.
target because she is being held, so you have -2 successes on it, and then I guess it's minus. Okay, I guess it's -3 successes in total because it's called shot, and then it's the -1 damage because it's an improvised thing. But yeah, dexterity.
Brawl for a stake? Okay.
No, it's melee.
Well, to be
It's
fair,
melee,
you-
of course, because you have. But it doesn't matter for you. But yeah.
That's
To be
why I
fair,
said
she can't
same
fight
difference.
back, so
No, she can't fight back.
you
have
just
your-
need to
your-
roll.
Click your melee, add your dexterity, and roll well enough. And she will end up staked again. Well, that
That's-
doesn't it? 6 successes,
that is rolling.
-3, +2. Yeah, that's exactly what's needed for Stake to do the damage needed to paralyze her again. Well done.
Okay.
I guess at the second you stake her, I drop her to the ground and say, "Let's try the other one."
And with that, my friends, I think it's the perfect. Yeah, Roger, what did you want to say?
I was just saying the saying that when he says that, let's try the other one. Charlie just says, "You serious? I told you this was a terrible idea. Let's just take him to the sheriff now before this can get any worse."
And with that, we will end this session on, is it a cliffhanger or is it a Chris hanger?
Definitely not a cliffhanger, but it's progress.
It's progress. And it's a Chris hanger, because I tried to make a joke and it failed miserably.
Nice
So,
job, real smooth.
Yeah, never mind that. We will go raid the Tales of Myth and Mayhem, who are playing Cult. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will see these
playing
guys
Cult?
next week when
Raiding down.
Is it a
Murder.
role-playing game?
What?
Wait, are they playing a video game or are they playing Cult KULT?
KULT, the RPG. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Is that
I
bad?
think that's got the biggest rules book.
I haven't
For a
read it for
game.
ages. I haven't played it since the 90s, but it's basically Hellraiser, the role-playing game.
Yeah.
Got it. So it's basically the campaign for North Africa of TTRPGs.
Wow.
Something like that, yeah.
Jesus H. Christ.
The funny
It's
part
like if you
was
put in the
the
vampire book and
the first story we played that came with the actual box. This was in the early 90s. You played a bunch of normal mortals who had a bunch of weird visions until they realized that they were in fact the 4 riders of the apocalypse, and they were reincarnated, and they had been in the same band as Jim Morrison, the Doors, and Jim Morrison was Jesus, or the leader for the riders or something, and it was just really trippy and weird.
I don't know if anyone has the image of Mage, like how big the rulebook of Mage is.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
I don't have a physical copy, but I've read through some of it, and it's
Yeah,
Too much.
Cult's twice as thick.
Oh,
my goodness. How many pages is it?
I'm never gonna play that. All right.
How many?